There are so many details that make a video game what it is, whether it's the storytelling, the graphics, the overall concept, and so on. But what I believe is the backbone of every great game is the quality of life features. And what is a quality of life feature? Essentially, it's the elements of the game that streamline the overall experience for you, the player, without completely changing the core gameplay mechanics. So today, I've compiled about 25 of some of the best quality of life features in Stardew Valley, both new and some old, that you may or may not even know exist. And for every 1.6 edition, I've added this little icon right here in the corner to help you know what's what. So let's not waste any more time yapping and get right into it. Probably the most obvious but integral quality of life aspects in Stardew Valley are found surrounding the chests. With the addition of big chests in the newest update, the thought of moving your items one by one is unpleasant to say the least. But don't worry, by simply taking your big chest and placing it on top of your existing chest, they will effortlessly swap with all of the contents inside without having to do the whole song and dance. And to be clear, this trick isn't exclusive to swapping your regular chest with a big chest. If you want to swap a regular chest with a stone chest, or a big chest with a big stone chest, or even if you want to go from a big chest to a regular chest, you can make that happen too, as long as the amount of items in the chest doesn't exceed whichever chest you're switching to. Wow, say chest one more time. Now, say you found a chest you're happy with, but realize you're not so happy with its placement. In the past, you were only able to painstakingly move them by repeatedly hitting them with an empty hand, but you can now move your chest easily by hitting them with the tool of your choice. And that also brings us to our next quality of life feature, which is that if you've placed chests around the valley, you do not need to worry whatsoever about NPCs breaking open or destroying your chest and its contents, because as a new feature as well, chests will be pushed out from the NPCs' paths instead of being destroyed. And no, if your chest is near water, they will not push it into the water and destroy it that way either. Your chests will be safe, I swear. Now, once you've got all of your goods set up in your chest, there are two extremely helpful buttons you need to take note of if you haven't already. First is the Add to Existing Stacks button that will quickly move any stackable items that you have in your inventory into any existing stacks you have within your chest. And the second is the Organize button that will sort your items by type and quality. This organization button is also available for your inventory, but I definitely think it's much more of a helpful tool used in chests exclusively. Now, you may have also noticed that in both your chest menu and your inventory menu, there is this tree icon. After learning the language of the Junimos, you can use this button to view your unfinished bundles from anywhere in the valley at any time. And while that is cool, what is even cooler is that when hovering over an item that is still needed for a bundle, this button will pulse, letting you know that you may want to hold on to it for donation. And now that we've made our way into the menu, would you guess it, there are a number of really helpful quality of life features here as well. By heading into options, you can toggle on something called Show Advanced Crafting Information, and what this does is not only will it show you how many of each ingredient you have on hand, but will also let you know how many of each item you've crafted previously, which can be super helpful if you're aiming for perfection, for example. And speaking of perfection, if you head into your Collections tab, each section has a personalized feature relating to what information would be most helpful, especially when trying to make progress in the game. For example, the section with forage, produce, and other resources will let you know how many of each item has been shipped, the fish section will tell you how many of each type has been caught, artifacts and minerals will show you how many have been found of each, and so on. Now, this tab also has a section that you can view past mail you've received, one of these being the letter you get telling you who you'll be gifting to for the Feast of the Winter Star. But to be frank, searching through all of your mail if you've forgotten who to gift to is slightly time-consuming, so by heading to the Skills tab, you can see in the right bottom corner a cute graphic to serve as a much quicker reminder. Definitely a small detail, but just as I've been saying throughout this video, it's these small quality of life features that really do make a game what it is. And another game that has also really focused on these little details to make the experience that much more elevated is the sponsor of today's video, Disney Dreamlight Valley. Disney Dreamlight Valley is the perfect cozy game to relax and sink into, packed with a ton of content throughout as you journey through the valley to uncover the Disney and Pixar characters' lost memories and solve puzzles, all while creating the village of your dreams. And when I say a ton of content, I mean it. Not only are there already so many familiar characters, plenty of quests, biomes to explore, and so on, the game also continues to make updates every few months to keep things fresh and exciting. And while all of that is great on its own, my personal favorite part of the game is how much depth there is in the details. The touch of magic tools make it extremely personalized, which can allow you to make your avatar and space fit perfectly to you and your style. And if you don't want to use the customization features, don't worry. The amount of items and clothing you can unlock from questing and collecting is practically limitless. You will definitely find something you love. And good news! The game is on sale right now on most digital storefronts, so be sure to grab it today through the link in the description of this video. A huge thank you to Gameloft for being an amazing sponsor of this video, and with that, let's get back into it. Obviously, when playing Stardew Valley, you're likely to spend a decent amount of time on your farm, so there is a decent amount of quality of life features you'll want to know about that take place here. And a lot of these are actually newer additions, so listen up. Of course, you can place torches on the ground throughout your farm, and even on fences, but as a newer addition, your torches can be placed on sprinklers. Very convenient, very space-saving. And another very space-saving organizing feature is that you can place signs on fish ponds. Wood signs, stone signs, dark signs, signs of the vessel, they are all options that will give you an easy way to see which kind of fish populate your pond and how many there are as well. Now, one of the newer features to update 1.6, if you've placed down fruit trees either accidentally or maybe you wished you could have originally planted your fruit tree in your greenhouse so that it bears fruit all year long, whatever the reason, you are able to chop down your fruit trees and will receive the sapling back, allowing you to replant instead of eating the cost. Now, speaking of making mistakes, I think we've all experienced charging up your watering can or other tool in the wrong position and wasting the energy and whatever else, which, more than anything, is just annoying. So, as a handy quality of life feature, you can now reposition yourself or strafe before choosing your final position. If you've set up fencing on your farm and it's began to show signs of wear and tear over time, you don't need to chop down the broken fencing before placing a replacement fence. All that's needed is to place your fence on the broken piece and the fence will be rebuilt. And kind of in the same vein, but not really at all, if you're placing down rugs in your home or other buildings, they will stay put as long as something is already placed on top, making it so that you don't actually lift up a rug that's sitting beneath your couch, coffee table, and other decor, causing you to need to replace everything. Now, if you're a newer player and think this is obvious, just know that prior to the newest update, this situation happened all the time and was absolutely infuriating. So, great quality of life feature? Yes it is. And once your farm is put so nicely together with all of your chests all organized, your fencing and torches placed down surrounding your garden, and your signs perfectly placed on your fish ponds, you will not have to worry about your napalm ring causing an unwanted explosion, destroying all of your hard work, because luckily for us, a newly added quality of life feature added into Stardew has made it so that the napalm ring that would normally cause an explosion after slaying a monster is now non-destructive on the farm and inside the slime hutch, only doing damage to monsters. Now, up to this point of the video, I've tried to categorize the quality of life features into 3 basic categories, but to be honest, we have about 10 or so left, and they are all kind of random and hard to specifically categorize. So I'm gonna call them the extras, and we're gonna try to get through them quickly so that you can go back to playing Stardew Valley yourself, making dinner, brushing your cat, whatever it may be. I was gonna add in subscribing to my channel there, but when I was reading it back, it sounded kind of really cringy, so I didn't. But if you like my content and haven't already subscribed and liked this video, I'd love for you to. Was that worse? Okay, I'm sorry, back to the video. Questing has also gotten an upgrade, as while you complete the Help Wanted quests from the board in town, you'll be able to track your progress towards free prize tickets using these stars in the corner. 3 stars filled in, free prize ticket. The Special Orders board in town also has its own form of progress tracking, as now to indicate you've completed certain quests previously, a checkmark will be shown. And I guess these next 2 quality of life features also kind of fall into the progress tracking type category, as when fishing, any fish you catch for the first time will trigger a first catch animation above your head, and if you've seen a pop-up in the corner stating you've got new ideas to sleep on, this is a helpful feature letting you know you've just leveled up a skill. When looking at food items in your inventory, it is now possible to not only see what buffs the food gives, but for how long it will last, allowing you to plan out how you want to use it more effectively. And not a new feature and likely obvious, but when playing in single player, time will pause when you eat food, which can be a huge help when you're fighting for your life in the mines. And if you're a bit of a klutz, you'll be happy to know that the game gives time for items to float in the water before sinking. If you've accidentally sold an item or two at one of the shops that you didn't intend to, you can quickly purchase it back and undo your mistake if you catch it while the shopping menu is still open. And for all of the items you somehow misplaced, such as items from failed special orders, lost tools, hats from sacrificed children, and so on, you can get them back through the Lost and Found box in Mayor Lewis's home. Or for more unique items that go missing, there is actually a special shop that appears in the Secret Forest that allows you to buy back items for 10,000 G each from my good friend Dave the Crow here. No, that is not actually his canon name, I've just deemed it as such, but he looks like a Dave, right? Now, if you've decided to upgrade your watering can, it may seem like quite a small detail, but once returned to you, your can will be refilled with water. These are the kinds of quality of life features you might not even notice, but they are actually really nice details. And speaking of tools, if you found that you want to take your pan with you as you go throughout your day, but it just takes up unnecessary space in your inventory, you can use your pan as a hat. And finally, let's make our way to the museum for our final quality of life feature for this video. As after donating items to the museum, you may want to rearrange the collection as a whole, but maybe you don't have anything to donate, or you've completed the collection entirely. Congratulations! There is actually a small pencil and paper on the desk here that, when pressed, will allow you to rearrange the collection, however big or small, to your heart's desire. And that's the video. I hope you were able to learn something new or be reminded of a feature you may have forgotten about in Stardew, but overall, I hope you had a good time. And this was just over 25 quality of life features in Stardew Valley. There are obviously way more, so definitely leave your comments of ones I didn't touch on or your personal favorites in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to check out the link in the description to get your copy of Disney Dreamlight Valley while it's still on sale today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, year. Okay, love you. Bye!